Why do you think so many black men are choosing white women nowadays?
Because they don't love themselves and they don't love their culture and they just don't love being black.
Do you think black men that choose white women don't love being black?
Yes, I do. I mean, because you came from a black woman, so why would you not want to love on a black woman?
So I've been watching a lot of black men's responses to the whole black male athlete, white girlfriend, white wife conversation. And before I say what I have to say, please understand that this is not me trying to advocate for these black men. This is not me saying, why are they choosing them and not us? Baby, they can have them, okay? With that being said, though, are we not alarmed at the responses we've been getting for why black men date white girls in the NFL and such? Are we not? I want for us to pay attention to how little love, companionship, compatibility, and chemistry have been the reasons why black men go for the Beckys. Like, I've yet to hear someone say, well, I chose to date a white girl and when I was a football player because she and I just got along so well. Like, I've yet to see that. All I've been seeing is black men praising Becky's for their labor and shutting the hell up. Across the board, it's been, they bought us food, they did our homework, and they're quiet. And what I can't understand is how are both sides not offended at the other person's antics? White women, how are y'all not offended at hearing these black men say, I don't care about you as a person. You do things for me and you get me stuff. And you shut up and I can do whatever I want because you just take it. How are you not offended by that? Black men, they're literally scouting y'all out at home, taking notes on who to talk to at practice, after practice the next day. How are y'all not offended at their blatant preying on y'all, not for who you are as a person, but for your pockets? Like, clearly it's a match made in heaven, but it's giving obligation, benefits only. I'm here for the aesthetic and not actual relationships. Is anybody else peeping that, or is it just me?
I don't know how many times we gotta tell y'all that you can't be pro-black dating white. And so let's talk about Consciously, all these videos I'm saying about Consciously and the way that he is. Like, soon as I seen his wife years ago, when I figured that out, I knew all the shit he was doing was fucking performative. Because there was no way. And I'm not saying that just because you date outside your race as a black man, you don't care about black women or you don't care about black people. But to, like, be such a activist or a freedom fighter or whatever the fuck you would call him, like, while laying up with a white woman, man, please. Man, please. Or whatever she is, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, you ain't even got a light-skinned black girl. Like, you ain't even got to have black girl. Like, nigga, please. And y'all like to go to bat for that and swear that that don't matter. And it don't matter who he marry, who he love. Now you see that it does. It definitely fucking does. You are not pro-black, and you out here marrying non-black and having non-black children. That is not pro-black. That's not. Malcolm X would never. And then he get his ass on Malcolm X's internet and play with us all the motherfucking time. But I've been blocked him, and I don't follow him. I don't engage with his content. And I can just tell a performer when I see one. I tell your whole fucking page is pandering to black women, but you're not married to one. Goodbye. Be black or to just call themselves black. And I honestly think one of my biggest flexes is that nobody ever knows that my dad is not black until they see him or they see his mother, and it's like, yeah, bitch, because I'm black and I'm proud.
So a billionaire has came out and said that women belong to billionaires and they treat them better and they want them. And men are foaming at the mouth and going crazy. Let me tell you why that is, though. For years, these men have told us that since these rappers and these athletes and these entertainers and these comedians date outside their race and go with these racially ambiguous women, that we're not desirable and we're unworthy. But the gag is most entertainers are broke. Yeah, let's talk about it. Most rappers, comedians, actors, athletes do not make as much money as they portray to us to be making. But the reality for most dark-skinned women is that is where we get our best treatment. It's outside the community. Sad to say. Now, if you're a light-skinned woman, if you're an unambiguously, black woman, I mean, it's probably different for you. No shade, no hatred, no envy, honestly. It just kind of is what it is. But these men are so mad because how dare a billionaire come out and say that he prefers women, and so many others have came out in agreement and said that we're more loyal, we're more trustworthy, we have better interest, we're prettier. These are their words, opinions, but it doesn't go with the opinion of most men. So they're hot about it because they want us to suffer, and they want us to believe that if we don't suffer with them, we're going to suffer wherever we go, which is bullshit. This is what it is. But I just came here to say, ladies, they're foaming at the mouth because it's true. They're foaming at the mouth because they don't want us to know that secret. They want you to stay in suffering with them when you could pop out and probably get something better. So to all of my dark-skinned women, black love, let it go. It's not what you think it is. It's not this fantasy fairy tale thing that we've been sold. It's just a love of suffering. And if you're honest with yourself, and we're talking about desirability politics, I know as far as I go, if I get on a dating app right now, the first 10 men that are going to contact me are going to be, it's probably going to be 2 of these guys, but it's going to be 10 of these guys. So go where you're appreciated, ladies, not where you're tolerated.
What they at, though? What they at, though?
Do wealthy white men even marry black women?
even if they're their exact height. My coworker and I have a mutual who is older than us and who is very rich, and his dating history is women who look exactly like me, like exactly like his exes and I. We could be cousins, okay? And I was talking to my coworker about this mutual. I was like, is he ever gonna settle down? Because he's kind of old. Is he gonna settle down? Is he gonna get married? And he was like, yeah, to a white lady. He was like, yeah, that's what they do. They terrorize the community of the women that they're actually attracted to, and then they settle for someone inside their race to keep the wealth inside their community. I think this is really specific to rich white men.
I've always thought that black women and white men made so much more sense in terms of coupling than white women and black men.
I wonder why you would think such a thing. She made 4 videos about this. I tapped out after 2. You're gonna see why when I explain. Like, she's basically just talking about proximity to whiteness, which is so funny to me because I feel like that's what black men get accused of like longing for all the time. Basically, when she's talking about this, she's not arguing from the standpoint of who loves who and like just genuine relationships. She's talking about the pairing as if it's some sort of like business deal. Like, what makes more sense for capital and mobility. So it's like, already, unless you're gonna tell me that most people are coupling up for solely business reasons, what is the point of what she's saying? It all just seems like an excuse to pseudo-intellectually say, oh my gosh, our interracial relationships are better than your guys's. One of her main points was black women are one of the most educated groups, and white men, like, their word means the most in America. And they have generational wealth because they're white or whatever. And she's basically saying that like a lot of black women, regardless of how educated they are, wouldn't get opportunities without like a white man behind them. And there's just a lot there, okay? First of all, intersectionality. Why are we approaching the concept of black women and white men with no nuance whatsoever? Like, there was an argument like she made like with black men, white women, where she was like, oh, like white women can weaponize the police over black men. And that's like something where it's like objectively, yeah, any white woman in theory could do that. But on the other hand, being like white men have generational wealth and black women are the most educated, that's just one that's not always going to be true. And honestly, I don't know if we could say that would even be true most of the time. Like, this is the problem when people turn people into numbers and not people. Like, because she's saying like, oh yeah, like, you know, white men, you know, they're like obviously on top of the food chain in America. You know, black women statistically got da-da-da going on, but they're super oppressed because they're black and they're women. But she's assuming that the pairing would automatically be educated, ambitious black woman, wealthy, down-to-earth white man, powerful white man. Like, you know how many white dudes just work at Amazon? And that's not me dissing people who work at Amazon, but my point is, it's like people like this, when they start talking, they talk about white men generally like every white man's a CEO. That's just not the case. And then the thing she said about white men being able to like help black women with their mobility, kind of to like circumvent like the oppression black women deal with. First of all, no. I promise you, if you marry a white man, you will still be black. There is only very, very specific instances where a black woman having a white husband can help her with anything. And oftentimes, it's not even just race, it's them having a husband that's in a high place to begin with. Again, say you're part of the minority of people who has a master's degree, but do you think this white man's just automatically gonna get you a job at the place where he works at, assuming that's a place where you'd wanna work? Assuming that's something where they wouldn't immediately look at it and be like, okay, dude, you can't just hire your wife. And assuming that he works somewhere that's not just, again, that like he's some sort of like CEO, big figure, rather than just someone who works in a warehouse. Like, do we not know that middle class, low class white men exist? Like, again, like she's talking about like these hypothetical white men, like they're all just these super powerful figures in society. And it's like, that kind of goes for any powerful figure in society. Now, do most of those powerful figures tend to be white men? Yes, of course. But the power isn't some intrinsic thing that everyone of that race inherently has. A lot of them just have an easier path to the brass ring. But again, that pathway being there doesn't mean that they all are going to get to the brass ring. So just this notion that like any white man can come through and save any black woman from oppression, it's so ignorant. Like, this is why you can't come to conclusions solely based off statistics, because you'll just sound like I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I mean? Like, doesn't sound good. And then she's like, oh, it's not the same for black men and white women because both of their voices mean nothing in society. And it's like, Okay. It's like, okay, you're kind of just describing racism and misogyny. And her other point was like being ostracized by the community, like being like a black man dating a white woman or being a white woman dating a black man. And it's like, okay, glad to hear someone admit that they know that black men face more criticism for that. But then like her final thing, what made me not go on to the other videos, she basically said that black men couldn't provide a soft life. And that's just like, it's a massive deal, by the way. And she was like, yeah, like white men being white and being wealthy, like they're able to give these women soft lives. And I just think it's so hilarious because one of her main points in the first video was about how educated black women are, you know, like how they have more, like 71% of black people that get master's degrees are women. And it's like, congrats, you're so educated, but it's like you got that education and now you're like, let me live the soft life. You're literally in her first video, it was about like pursuing like careers, like being able to have upward mobility in society. But then like the home run point of the second video is like, they can't provide the soft life, and women need the soft life. And that's when I knew I just spent like probably, it was like 6 minutes on my day watching complete nonsense, because it's yet another video. Sure, it's packaged as something that's non-emotional, packaged as something that's super intellectual, but the overall mission statement, you could see it was like an underlining element of pretty much everything that she said. Black men are broke. Date white men because they have money. Black men aren't as developed, so date white men. Just blindly looking at statistics and using them to push racist hoopla. Racist jargon, if you will. And I say this all the time. I say this especially when it comes to like the body count debate. Anybody who just throws up numbers and pretends that people aren't people and just completely ignores the concept of intersectionality. And also like, how could these numbers come to be? Are these numbers genuinely saying what I want them to, or am I just simply using them to push an agenda I have? Like, anyone ignoring a responsible thought process, basically, not to be listened to be real. Oh yeah, also not to mention, she mentioned the thing about white women weaponizing the police against black men. Do you not think there are things that white men can use to weaponize against black women? You know what I mean? Like, I swear, anytime someone has like a double standard for interracial couples, they act like white women are just like the most racist beings of all time and white men are just like
It's comments like this is why I'd say black men on this app, when black women are putting down black men, understand that there are some things that black women have to deconstruct on their own. Demons that they are fighting, that there is nothing that you can do that can change the perception, because the creator liked this comment. Now let's read it. I think we white men enable black women to emerge fully into their feminine energy. Do y'all provide better pay for these black women? Right, because this whole feminine energy, where's the money at? Where are the money for these sisters? When y'all brought these women in chains, was that placing them into their feminine energy? When black women have to straighten their hair, like place chemicals in their hair, that results in like cancers, like health issues towards black women due to white men believing that this natural kinky hair is not professional. Is that what you mean by putting black women to their feminine energy? Right? So when black women died giving birth to primarily these white physicians, right? These white institutions, right? These white physicians, is that putting black women in their feminine energy? Being more likely to die in childbirth than their white counterparts? Right? When y'all sentence black women harsher than their white counterparts, is that keeping black women into their feminine energy? I'm curious.
will always be confused by the black woman who ends up in a relationship with a broke white man. Like, why? Like, I get the train of thought and black love that leads us to the different ways of manifesting this building up in a relationship. But when you go to date specifically a white person of European descent that should have the white privilege of the colonizer spirit that exists in their family lineage to uplift themselves in this capitalistic society, how do you end up paying for the nicer things? Because that man couldn't even take you down to the brewery? Please don't confuse me for one of the sprinkle girls. Like, I just seen this young, pretty black woman on my For You page finding out that the white man she was in a relationship a year and a half with was messing around with other women, most of them being other high-earning black women, and they were providing his lifestyle. There is just something so deeply nefarious about a white man convincing you that he needs to be built up and he is not in graduate school. That man's not in law school. He's not in medical school. How you date a white man and the first time he went to New York was with a trip you financed? There's just something that the whiteness should be providing that I'm at a loss for here. My God.
Dating white men is wild because tell me why my ex called me one day and he said it would just kill you if I ended up with a black woman and had the little mixed babies we were supposed to have. I said, sir, go to hell.
Okay, can we talk about some tingy things? Because some of you guys have lost the plot and or losing the plot. And as a woman who dates outside of her race and who is currently dating a white man, I get asked a lot of the time whenever I'm talking about my dating life and how I'm getting treated. Some people will be like, is this a pasta and lobster situation? And I'm like, yes, I'm dating a white man. And they'll be like, oh, this is my chance, like, signed to date a white man to get a certain treatment. And I'm like, let's talk about it a little bit, because discourse about the pasta and lobster situation or dating a white man is getting a little outrageous. Some of you guys are starting to sound like the black men who will explain away why it is that they want to date white women. And I want y'all to pause, take a step back, and be like, that's not the answer, because we are not doing that. You should date men because you're attracted to them and you like them as an individual, not because they are a white man. Some of you guys are trying to force yourself to date people that you're not even attracted to because you're thinking that you're about to get a certain type of life. And I need y'all to get it in your mind, even as someone who is currently dating a white man, there are trash men across every race and ethnicity. You can't escape the sassy man apocalypse. You can't escape the patriarchy. And we can really get into the nitty-gritty of things and talk about the subtle differences between dating a white man and dating a black man. I don't tend to like to talk about it because it can get a little, dicey up in the mix. However, some of you guys are starting to sound really wild, and I'm not liking it. Also, be very mindful of who it is that you are choosing if you are choosing to date outside of your race. Because there are girls going through the trenches right now with a white man. Don't let it be you, sister. Don't let it be you. Choose wisely.
And another thing, I hate when I see my black sisters post they like white boys and then say they're the problem. What's the problem, sister? They'll be happy to have you. What are we talking about? Like, white boys love black girls.
I'd rather date a white man who dropped out from white supremacy school than a black man who graduated from it. Hello. I can't be pro-black because I'm dating a white dude. A spicy white from Baton Rouge. But still, I'm not here to tap dance for white people. Don't get it twisted. I give white people hell on here quite a bit. But we're not going to play stupid here. To be pro-black is to be pro-black straight male. That's it. That's it. That's all. Because anything that falls outside of that is disposable in our community. There are too many gay kids on the street for y'all to be so... There are too many. There are so many houseless gay people on the street. While I know plenty of that are very warm this winter. Housed and very comfortable. What's going on? I don't want anybody getting in my comments talking about how I'm anti-black and I hate black men. Let's just be fucking honest. The reason that we are saying that I can't be pro-black if I'm dating a white dude, because it is projection. When you're a black male, what else besides dating a black woman is required to be seen as pro-black? What else? What else was required? Jonathan Majors. What else was required? Nothing was required. All he called a white woman Coretta. All he had to do was date a fucking bird. And y'all just completely wiped. You just wiped it out. Honestly, I'm okay with being seen as not pro-black. I'm pro-black women, actually, because to be pro-black women is to be pro everyone else, because black women take care of everyone else. Everything will crumble without us. That Mario interview that happened recently, when he was being questioned if he loved black women, he said, yeah, I love black women. And then he listed off how his grandma and mother suffered. The highest compliment to black women is that they're suffering. Anybody who has commented free Tory at any point, you cannot, I don't give a fuck who I'm dating. You are not pro, shut up. Megan just simply didn't die like she was supposed to. Or take the fall and go to jail. Didn't pull a Lil' Kim. Because that works out right. That works out well for us. And to be honest, the people that get mad in my comments or just on whatever will DM me will get mad about the fact that I'm with a white dude are mad because they lost access to somebody who's light-skinned. Hello. This shit has layers. I don't want to hear from somebody who is literally trying to breed the blackness out of them that I am anti-black. Shh. Raising black children is too optional for y'all to be so fucking... Y'all, lower it a little bit. It's not giving that. The way that Serena Williams was treated, the way that Gabourey Sidibe was treated, the same lips that spewed misogynoir at these same women, called them men, called them this, called them aggressive, this and that. They went elsewhere, and now they're anti-black when you literally spewed it. The hypocrisy. And to be fair, you're not mad that you missed an opportunity to be with her. When you see black women leave, you're losing soldiers. You're losing workhorses. You're mad that you're losing your stable, not that you're losing a potential partner. All these black love and pro-black love couples are fucking weird. Like, what? I don't know what these women are getting out of the deal. What, Jasmine Brown? Jasmine Brown? Is that the example? The demand of subservience of black women. I don't... There is no way that I'm worse than that. The mindfuck that it is, that in order to be pro-black, I need to be your slave? What the fuck? You are a white supremacy school graduate. Congratulations, you take the tassel right here. You found a black person and it made them a fucking housemaid. What are we doing? And black women, that is one thing I will blame on us. That is one thing I will blame on black women and a lot of this homophobia that I've been seeing going through. Fix that shit. That is our fault. We just demand that a black man be there. Just for them to be there, and we will do everything else. Just be there. And you don't know how fucking damaging that is to the community. Black women, stop doing that shit. So much so that you will allow yourself to be harmed, your children to be harmed. You will turn on the LGBTQ plus. I'm going to keep bringing this shit up because all this is about the men. All this is about losing a black man that's going to go wherever the fuck they want to go. I'm tired of that. I'm just going to keep bringing that up. And another thing, if the black church did anything good for the black community, it would start getting taxed. I said what the fuck I said. That is overseer camp. You're up there worshiping a member of the Bee Gees. It's just emotions taking you over, huh? Who the fuck is that man on the cross? Who literally worship a white man at least once a week? Or when a trial is coming up. Miss me with that shit. And black women are the main ones in the black church because we're the ones expected to have all of the morals because we're actually the leaders, low-key. I have a lot of leadership responsibilities without the benefits. But anyways, you say I'm anti-black all day, but I bet I won't bring my black ass, my black woman ass on a podcast and talk about how much white people are better than you. About how much white men are better than you. I would never do that. That's fucking weird, but it happens all the time. Yet I'm I don't get it. Joel Santana said that little black boys and little black girls don't need to learn how to read. Slaves used to get their hand cut off for trying to read. But me. I don't know. Explain that to me. And then explain irony to me, because I don't know that shit either. Bye.
My homegirl sent me a post that basically states that black men are the worst men to date and they are not romantic.
Now, ladies, I want you to take this video as a lesson of what men will do when they simply don't like you.
They treat being romantic like a crime.
Being romantic is not a crime. These men are just not romantic for women they don't think are worth it. Sorry.
Even see a lot of black men result into other races because they feel like black women are so mouthy because we stand up for ourselves and we have confidence in ourselves.
See, now not only are you putting down black men in this video, you are now stepping on every other race of women because apparently black women are the only ones that stand up for ourselves in relationships and demand respect. Is that the take you want to have?
And all we be asking for is simple respect that can't even be given. They think that it needs to be earned.
And this really is my final straw because you're dealing with a man that doesn't respect you. That means he doesn't like you. He just doesn't like you. Stop dealing with men that don't like you. They might want to sleep with you, but that doesn't mean that they like you. If they refuse to be romantic, if they refuse to respect you, if they think that all of this has to be earned, they just don't like you. Try someone else. I don't know.
I saw a white man talk about a black woman and say that he couldn't listen to somebody who was from the Bonnet Brigade. You know where he got that from? A black person talking about a black woman. He's not that creative. He's mad about Black Beach Week, talking about, oh, I bet they won't open me with open arms. You don't even like fucking black people, and you want to be open with welcome with open arms. But y'all need to, other black people need to stop acting like they also don't like black people. Get off that shit. You are, just like they copy other parts of our culture, they are copying the way that you all disparage black women, and it's fucking embarrassing. What's the difference between a baseball cap and a bonnet? Really, really, really fucking quickly, tell me. You know the answer. One is for black people, one is not for white people. Like, real talk. Who do you really think that he heard Bonnet Brigade from? They can't even make up dances. You think he made up that shit?